Well, hello racing fans and welcome to our Gallop Preview Show for Wednesday, the 26th of March, as we nearing the end of a new month for 2025, and we race at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. And let's see what's on the go, and I trust that you, the valued racing fan, as well. Looking forward to this preview. Haven't spoken to Graham with the preview show in some time, just been missing him with shifts, etc. But there are 8 races on the go, and race number 1 begins pretty late, 12:45, and things should end at 5 to 5. That's the 8 races on the go, and as always, the exotics when there are 8 races begins in race number 1, which is the start of the bipot. So race number 1 is the Hollywoodbets Durbanville Welcomes You Maiden Plate over 2,400 meters. And let's bring up the field and have a look at what's happening. At the time of recording, numbers 5 and 7 are out, so we just have a field of 6. It's a small field that go to post. And this is how it looks. Number 1 past and present from 8 to 10 into 7 to 10. We got an odds on shot. 2 races with the blinkers off, 3 blinkers on. And number 4, Woodworld, is at 11 to 10. Small field to get things going. Get your bets on. Get on the tote with that bipot by 12:45. Graham Hawkins, haven't spoken to you in a while, Graham, and nice to hear that, after your procedure, etc., in December, that you are fully recovered, which is fantastic.
Striding out really well, Dees. Thank you very much. Yeah, the recovery has been 100%, so no issues on that front. As far as this race meeting at Hollywoodbets Durbanville is concerned, well, the rain started, not heavy rain, but the rain started last week Thursday, continued Friday, continued throughout Saturday's race meeting, and hasn't really abated. So we're definitely going to be on a soft track at Hollywoodbets Durbanville come tomorrow's meeting being Wednesday. Everyone knows we record on a Tuesday. So this opening event over 2,400 meters, desperation stakes for some of these runners. None of them have ever been beyond 2,000 meters, so they're all tackling the trip for the first time on a soft track. But it does look a straight-up fight between numbers 1 past and present and Forward World. It is the first leg of the bipot. It is my suggested bet. I'm going to take my chances and bank a number 1 past and present in the opening leg. Has been a runner-up in its last 2 starts. A bit of a one-paced plodder. How he'll go on a softer track is open to question. The 2 that might get into the fray are numbers 3, Ariovistus, and 8, Lucky 13. But it goes without saying that this is a very low-grade maiden over 2,400 meters. Does look a match on form, at least, between numbers 1 past and present and Forward World.
Okay, don't be put off that we got a 7 to 10 shot and an 11 to 10 shot that you're not going to make a fair profit if you play the exacta, because generally it does pay well, especially if you try and work it out straight line between numbers 1 and 4. That could be the way to go. Little to choose between 2 horses that top the betting boards. Place accumulator, Graham, begins in race number 2 at 13:20. It's over 1,400 meters. It's an open maiden for fillies and mares, and this is how it looks. Horse number 4, Wild Applause, at 33 to 10. Number 6, Alex Miller, at 7 to 1. We got number 7, Miss William, at 4 to 1. Horse number 8 at 6 to 1. Then we got a 33 to 10 shot in number 11. And that is Thingamabob. And what are we doing here in race number 2? Well, it is the start of the place accumulator. Graham's suggested bet for the show is a bipot, which will come up at the end of the show. And this is leg 2 of that bipot. But leg 1 of the place accumulator, Graham, is it a race between the horses at the top of the betting boards, namely numbers 4, 7, and 11 that will be popular, I'm sure, amongst racing fans. But how do you see it?
Well, those are the 3 numbers that have included into the second leg of the bipot: 4, Wild Applause, 7, Miss William, and 11, Thingamabob. But that doesn't mean to say that numbers 6, Alex Miller, and 8, we have a situation of chanceless. It is an open maiden. It is competitive. The favourite, as you've mentioned, is number 4, Wild Applause. On her best form, when running second to My Sensation in the past and second to Back at the George in the past, and considering that both of those are now multiple winners, it's a little disappointing that number 4, Wild Applause, hasn't already won. She's got 61.5 to shoulder. She's nicely drawn, but there are a few chinks in her armour, so I wouldn't go all in on number 4, Wild Applause. If number 11, Thingamabob, was better drawn, she's drawn awkwardly at gate number 11, I would have been a lot more confident. But there was money around on debut when she shortened from 10 to 1 to 5 to 1, and she ran accordingly, running on strongly at the end to get within a length of Hurikwacho. Surely there can only be a lot more improvement to come. So number 11, Thingamabob, despite the awkward draw, is my top choice in a competitive race. Number 7, Miss William, is also hard to assess, unfancied on debut in a largish field of 13, but came out second best behind Rahaba. That form line has been a little suspect to now, so quite what to make of number 7, Miss William, is hard to know. But surely she also only has scope for further improvement. So it is a race that Wild Applause could come home ahead because of the experience, because of the fact that she's better drawn. But I'm in the camp of number 11, Thingamabob. The Andre Nel Cornet Alpha partnership continues to go really well. Another good winner over the weekend with Congressman, and second with La Divina. The draw puts me off having a good strike on number 11, Thingamabob, but I expect it to run really well. But Wild Applause probably does set the standard.
Yeah, I think Graham's on the right horse here, considering that the horse was backed on debut. And when a horse gets backed, all you want to see is that the ability is there, and certainly showed it, this filly, on debut. Didn't win, but ran a good second behind a horse that's beautifully bred, and of course, I think is not going to retire one-time winner. Just a draw to overcome, as Graham mentioned, but 11 will be popular for all. Race number 3 is over 1,500 meters. Another open maiden, Graham. Number 1, Monkey Puzzle, is at 5 to 1. We got number 3, Show Off, at 5 to 2. Then horse number 8, which is Grand Canaria, at 22 to 10. And number 9, Afrique, at 11 to 2. 10 is a scratching at the time of recording, and 11, Noble Hero, is at 8 to 1. The one thing that's clearly noticeable, Graham, is the form line between numbers 1 and 3. And considering how poorly drawn they were last time out at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, I don't think there'll be much between the two. And, you know, they're drawn, well, one could say nearly alongside each other this time round, and they're good barrier positions.
Yeah, look, that was behind Chasing the Rainbow. I'm not quite sure how strong that form line was, but Monkey Puzzle, as you say, is drawn in pole position, and Show Off is drawn 3, whereas they were both drawn extremely wide last time, and that was at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Monkey Puzzle finished a length or so in front of Show Off, but is easier to back at 9 to 2, whereas Show Off is at 5 to 2. I think that's as a result of the jockey arrangements. Show Off has got Richard Faria aboard, Monkey Puzzle, Gareth Wright, but there should be little to choose between them. They're both nicely drawn. I think the key horse in the race is unquestionably number 8, Grand Canaria. He was spoken very highly of by trainer Justin Snaith after he ran second to Native Ruler, and to be fair, we made him a bit of a good thing on the 15th of January when he disappointed and could only run 5th behind Red Dawn. He was immediately given the unkindest cut of all. He was gelded 2 days after that race, so he reappears here first start as a gelding. But there could be something about number 8, Grand Canaria. Certainly Justin thinks he's way above average, so he's got to be the key horse in the race. Again, a slightly awkward drawn in gate number 8, but he warrants all the respect in the world. So it does look a 3-cornered contest between numbers 1, Monkey Puzzle, 3, Show Off, and 8, Grand Canaria. Some will like number 9, Afrique, and 11, Noble Hero. They certainly got chances for trifectas and quartets. But I'm going with, in the bipot, I'm going with numbers 1, Monkey Puzzle, 3, Show Off, and 8, Grand Canaria. My marginal first choice, yes, I'll go with the fact that Show Off is better drawn, has only had the 2 starts, and will have benefited from the experience at Hollywoodbets Durbanville last time out. Richard Faria and Gavin Larena both feature in this meeting, and they're vying there for the championship title, so the competition will be keen, and this is one of Faria's better rides on the day. So Show Off, my marginal first choice, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Grand Canaria stamp his authority here, Dees.
I'm so glad that you touched on one thing, and that's the championship, Graham, because, you know, in the number of time and the experience that you have and the memories that you have over the years, I'm sure you've seen many championships fought over the years. You know, in most recent times, the closest ones I've seen was Anton Marcus and Gavin Larena going for it on the last day. Muzieni and Lyle Hudson also went to the last day. The championship, Graham, it's absolutely amazing. I'll read it out to our racing fans. Richard Faria on 169, Craig Zaki on 168, and Gavin Larena on 166. I don't know when last I saw 3 jockeys that are fighting it out, Graham. And Gavin he's made a statement here that he's now willing to go to Hollywoodbets Durbanville for a midweek meeting.
Yeah, no doubt he'd love to win it. As you say, he's come close in the past. We record this show on a Tuesday morning, and there's racing at the Vaal, obviously, on the Tuesday afternoon. And as you've just mentioned, Gavin Larena, presently as we record, 3 winners behind Richard Fourie. He could have eradicated that gap by the time the Vaal meeting is over. They could come into this meeting all square, or certainly a lot closer together than the 3 that separates them now. Of course, what makes Larena's job a lot tougher is the fact that Fourie has the choice of rides for Alan Creef at Fairview, and Craig Zaki seems to be doing a lot of work for Gavin Smith, although Craig Zaki, his chances have been compromised through the current suspension that he's serving. But it'll all add to the interest of this Hollywoodbets Durbanville meeting, as we see both Gavin Larena and Richard Fourie in action. And in the 4th race, which is a Class 4 over 1,600 metres, first leg of jackpot 1 off at 230, there shouldn't be too much to choose between Pinot Grigio, ridden by Richard Fourie, and 8 touchdown Gavin Larena. They certainly got bright chances. Not to say that we must ignore the likes of number 5 Unicorn Alert, 6 King's Quest, and 7 Arbitration. So it's a competitive little heat, this race 4. How they're betting, Dees?
Yeah, this is how it looks, Graham. Number 2, which is Bel Canto Dream at 8-1. Then we got number 3, Pinot Grigio, Hollywoodbets 33-10 into 28-10. Number 5, Unicorn Alert at 8-1. 5, King's Quest at 22-10. 7 is Arbitration at 6-1, and 8 Touchdown at 28-10. Graham, personally, I made this a field race because it is a small field of 8 runners. I know that there are horses that seem to have some better form than others, but I think you could get a result here.
That's not impossible, and it's not the worst call to go to the field. Even horses like number Gnarly, 1 Dust Goot and 2 Bel Canto Dream, they certainly can get into it on best form. Just a quick note about JP van der Merwe's choice to ride number 7 Arbitration over number 5 Unicorn Alert. I'm a little surprised by that. I would have thought that Unicorn Alert had stronger claims than the recent maiden winner Arbitration, who scraped home a half a length ahead of Grippen, who's no great shakes, and Grippen was unplaced over the weekend. King's Quest, there's got to be a question mark as to whether he goes the 1,600 metres. His best runs have been over 1,400 metres. He was a touch disappointing last time behind Please Be True. In that same race, Touchdown was ahead of him, and Touchdown ran 3rd there. Boogie Fight ran 2nd, and Boogie Fight's come out to win well, so that Please Be True form has been nicely franked. Pinot Grigio we haven't seen since December, but his form is good enough to win a race like this. So it is very competitive. Marginally in Richard Fourie's cap, number 3, Pinot Grigio, over number 8, Touchdown, Gavin Larena's ride. I think that King's Quest is worth another chance, even though he didn't get home over the 1,600 metres last time, and now the track is soft. So this will be a test as to whether number 6, King's Quest, truly goes a mile, or whether 1,400 is his best trip. But as you say, an upset cannot be ruled out.
Okay, that is it for race number 4. Let's move along to race number 5. It's over 1,800 meters, and this is a Class 5. Races 5, 6, 7, and 8 will be jackpot 2, and you need to get on by 15:05. Number 1, Hawortha Goldberg at 8-1. 2, Cosmic Rhythm at 8-1. Then we got number 3, Summer Night City at 7-2. 4, All About Ronnie at 28-10. What a run last time out at any odds, and guess what? Richard Fourie is now on 28-10. Number 6, Midway at 11-2, and number 8, Gold Index at 7-1. 9, Mohandas at 9-2, and 10 is a scratching at the time of recording. So we got 9 runners that go to post, but as Graham mentioned, it's a show that's recorded a day earlier. Keep an eye on further scratchings on race day. Graham, in race number 5, jackpot 2, looking for a form result here. Though, it's a Class 5, they often can spring a result with these low division handicaps, but maybe numbers 3, 4, and 6, if you have to narrow it down and play with the rule, you can possibly include one more.
Yeah, those are my top 3 that I've included into the bipot: 3 Summer Night City, Gavin Arena; 4 All About Ronnie, as you mentioned, Richard Free. It's interesting to note that Richard Free has a 50% winning strike rate for Des McLaughlin, and he's ridden All About Ronnie in the way back past to a victory. He's only ridden him twice before for a victory. I'm expecting a lot more in this race from number 6 Midway. He's plummeting down the ratings, and I think he's going to make his presence felt here. But this is a bit of a nightmare for punters, because this is definitely a race that can throw up a bit of a bomb result. As I said, I'm in the camp of Summer Night City this time. Lorena's mount ahead of 4 All About Ronnie and 6 Midway. But there are many others here that wouldn't surprise me if they won. They would include the Peter Wrench pair of number 8 Gold Index and number 9 Mohandas, certainly on their best form. They've got a chance of surprising here. Watch for a better run from number 5 St. Bridget. It is a tough race. It is a Class 5. It's a low-grade handicap on a soft track over 1,800 meters. But I do think that Summer Night City plunges in class from its last start, when the average merit rating was 75, back into an average merit rating 62. So we can expect a lot more from Summer Night City. All About Ronnie is capable. He is a 3-time winner, but he's not always consistent, and I think that Midway will now be competitive.
Okay, that's it for race number 5. Race number 6 is a D stakes over 1,250 meters. Number 1, Easy Money at 8-1. 2, Tambourine Man at 33-10. We've got another 33-10 shot, Graham, in number 3, True Horizon. Then number 4, Nile the Boss at 4-1. 5, Cape Captain at 7-1. Our horse number 6 is at 7-2, and it's double figures the balance. Racing fans, if you're wondering, where is Craig Zaki? Why is he not riding number 2, Tambourine Man? Why is he not riding at this race meeting? Well, he's also vying for the championship in a very costly suspension of from the 9th of March to the 26th of March. You're going to have to try and avoid these suspensions if you're going for a title. And this is a lengthy one, which has allowed others to play catch up, as they've done, as I read out the numbers, as they go into the next few months of the season as it stands. That's a costly suspension. I mentioned this because I really like the manner in which Craig has been, winning on this horse, number 2, Tambourine Man, Graham, for Adam Marcus. But very able replacement in Aldo de Meyer, who's yet to ride this horse to a win, but has tried once before. And I think 61.5 kgs, when you have a look at the top weight riders in the country, Aldo is right up there with the best.
And he comes off a double at the country course over the weekend. So Elder de Meyer is a very confident rider. He's a suitable replacement aboard number 2, Tambourine Man, for Craig Zaki. Adam Marcus holds a strong hand with 2, Tambourine Man, and 3, True Horizon. In receipt of 5.5 kilograms, there is collateral form, of course. True Horizon should be very competitive against number 2, Tambourine Man. And I've included both Adam Marcus's runners into the bipot. I do think there's some value to be had around number 1, Easy Money, coming out of pole position. She plummets also from her last run, which was an average merit rated 72, where she finished 5th behind Peace of Mind, down to a 60. So the class is down 12 points, and I think out of pole position, I do think that Easy Money is going to be very competitive and represent some good each way value at around 8-1, and I've thrown her into the mix. So I'm going with the draws here, numbers 1, 2, and 3 in the bipot. Others worth a mention, though, in a tricky race. Number 4, Nile the Boss, gets the services of Richard Faree. 6, Askiro, gets the services of Gavin Arena, and has won at the course. Only had 2 starts over the course and distance for a victory. And Lucinda Woodruff could have a good day. So number 6, Askiro, comes into the reckoning, as does Easy Money stable companion, number 9, Trey Schick, although she's got the worst of the draw to overcome. I do think Easy Money is the value horse in the race, but clear respect for both of Adam Marcus's runners, 2, Tambourine Man, and 3, True Horizon.
Race number 7, 1,250 meters, Graham. We at the business end of the race meeting when it comes to the exotics. This is the penultimate race. Let's go. Number 1, So Hot, So What. Lucinda Woodruff, you've done an excellent job with this filly that's been liked on the show. Gavin Arena up, as he usually is. He's partnered this filly in all of her runs to date, and she jumps from pole position. Well, the one thing that's clearly noticeable about her is that she's having a first run at the country course, but with that good draw and the fact that she's built with the natural gate speed, I think that she is the right horse at the top of betting boards. Number 3, Captain's Destiny at 11-2. 4, Priscilla Macy, Graham. Hollywoodbets 16-1 into 12-1. 6, Sweetie Darling is at 8-1. And number 14, Miraculous, is at 8-1. I also just took down the betting of a filly that I'm actually surprised, but Candice Bass Robinson has got it right with her number 12, Rahaba. I say I'm actually surprised, Graham, because just on pedigree and what I saw, I thought, as they step over further, she's going to get better and stronger. But they dropped her in distance last time out to win the maiden, and she was backed, and she won good. But the form line hasn't worked out. I just pulled out the form line to see if I can get a bit of confidence from that maiden form line. I didn't, and she does have a wide draw to overcome. But she's a very interesting runner for me, number 12, Rahaba. But at the top of this race, Graham, I mentioned So Hot, So What. The way Gavin's riding her, Lucinda's got the filly in a good space. Draw one. Do you have any concerns with the track?
No, I don't. The fact that she's been around the turn at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, that was on the 11th of February. The going on that occasion was also yielding. She ran a good close second behind Yolek at Dink. She's going to get the run of the race out of gate number 1. So I'm not overly concerned. This is her first start at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I think you can expect another bold performance from number 1, So Hot, So What. Captain's Destiny is weighted to turn the tables on her quite comfortably if you go back to the run on the 15th of January when she ran second, half a length behind So Hot, So What. So Captain's Destiny, who's holding her form really well and is a course winner, that's clearly a tick for number 3, Captain's Destiny. So there shouldn't be too much to choose between numbers 1, So Hot, So What, and 3, Captain's Destiny. But So Hot, So What does appear still to be improving, so she might be able to confirm the form with number 3, Captain's Destiny, despite the weight turnaround. Miraculous is going to have all to do from the worst of the draw gate 14, even though her form coming into the race is solid. You mentioned number 12, Rahaba. Well, we'll see how Miss William goes earlier in the day, but it's not going to be easy for Rahaba. She has some course experience. She has been placed there, and she's clearly on the up. But I do think that her stable companion, number 7, Oktoberfest, represents huge value at a current odds of around 14-1. She seldom runs a bad race. She's had 2 starts over track and trip for a win and a third. She's plummeting down the ratings quite quickly now, from a high of 84 down to 79. She gets the services of Grant van Niekerk. She's shown good pace in her last 2 starts over 1,400 meters. Steps back to 1,250 meters. So if there's a lurker in the pack, then it could well be number 7, Oktoberfest. But I think that So Hot, So What, from pole position, is going to have the run of the race and may get home ahead of numbers 3, Captain's Destiny, and 7, Oktoberfest. Respect for 12, Rahaba, and 14, Miraculous, but they're not well drawn and might find it a bit tough.
3 and 7, the immediate dangers to number 1, So Hot, So What. We close off the meeting, race number 8. And before we bring up the field, Graham, if you haven't done so yet, maybe you have, please just have a look at number 4, The Mask, and I'll tell you why as we bring up the field. Number 1, Counter Attack at 7-2. Number 2, Poroshka as 8-1. The reason I'm telling you to look at this horse, Graham, look at this. Number 4, The Mask, 40-1 into 14-1. I know it's a big price, doesn't take much to shorten horses anti-post, but the fact is, from big odds, this horse was a blinker strike, is from 40-1 into 14-1. Note that, racing fans, maybe a nice inclusion in your pick 6. Number 2, Firing on All Engines, 9-2 into 33-10 anti-post. 7 is My Archangel at 9-2, and 10, Street Outlaw, is at 11-2. Number 14 is a scratching, Graham. I think I've given you enough time there, Graham, to have a look at the 4, The Mask, if you haven't done so yet. Beside the blinkers, what else is there to recommend?
Well, the rating drops certainly. I know that Glenn Cotton has always thought very highly of this extremely well-bred son of Gimme the Green Light. He's certainly underperformed, under-delivered. He won a second time out, beating Always Shining. He had a high of 91 early in his career, and he's plummeted all the way down to 77. So in this in this Class 4 handicap. He comes in quite well in, 56 kilos, but he's going to have to step up on his last couple of runs. But it's interesting that blinkers go on and that there is money around. So we'll keep an eye on number 4, the Mask. As you say, it might just be worth throwing into the final leg of Jackpot 2, throwing him into the final leg of the Pick 6, and certainly when it comes to race time, considering as far as your trifectas and quartets are concerned, he certainly didn't feature in my top 4, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a much better run from number 4, the Mask. My top choice, and may I say a fairly confident one, dare I say that in this class of race, number 6, Firing on All Engines. It surprised me. You know, when he won his maiden, I thought, that was him done and dusted, and that was back in October. And it was at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. His course and distance form reads three runs for a winner, second and a third, so yet to be out the top 3. The Harold Crawford, Michelle Ricks combination together with Mpumi and Jockey, they won the last race over the weekend at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and they can do the same here with number 6, Firing on All Engines. He likes to go out quickly, and the conditions could well suit him, the course fits him, and they're going to all have to run down number 6, Firing on All Engines. So he's my top choice ahead of number 1, Counter Attack, who's a little in and out, but he's drawn in gate 1, and that will be an advantage for him. Also shows a lot of pace, but I do expect Firing on All Engines to lead them, and for Counter Attack to be nicely poised to have a crack at the leader when they turn for home. My Archangel's got to be a lot better than that last run, so I'm sitting on the fence with number 7, My Archangel. Street Outlaw, of course, beat Firing on All Engines a short head last time out and could be competitive again. He seems to have found form, and I think he'll appreciate the softer conditions, and we've mentioned the Mask. But my top choice in the last, definitely number 6, Firing on All Engines, ahead of numbers 1, Counter Attack, then 7, 10 and 4. We'll throw number 4, the Mask, into the mix because of being a blinker strike, and also because of the ratings drop, and more importantly because of the support that is coming for him, albeit long shot support.
Okay, whilst Graham makes it a competitive race, I like the confidence coming from him, and I must rubber stamp Michelle Ricks and Harold Crawford in the way the stable's going. Number 6, Firing on All Engines, could be a place to accumulate a banker with those thoughts from Graham here in race number 8. Okay, I mentioned that Graham's choice of bet for the show is a bipot, and it's going to come up on screen now. Graham, you can go through it.
Thank you, Dees. I'm taking my chances with number 1, Past and Present, in the opening leg of the bipot. It's a very weak maiden play, 2-4 on a soft track. They're all going the trip for the first time, but he does look as if he can certainly make his presence felt in a big way. He's not odds on for nothing. Second leg, numbers 4, 7, 11, then 1, 3 and 8, Monkey Puzzle, Show Off, and I think the key horse in the race there, Grand Canaria. Then numbers 3, 6 and 8, Pinot Grigio, King's Quest and Touchdown. Penultimate leg, numbers 3, 4 and 6, Summer Night City, All About Ronnie and Midway. And the final leg, numbers 1, 2 and 3, Easy Money, Tambourine Man, True Horizon. Dees, it's a competitive day's racing, as I said, on a soft track. The winter has certainly not arrived in full force. Very hot weather is forecast for later in the week. But for the moment, the rain is around, and there's still going to be some rain at Hollywoodbets Durbanville during the morning of tomorrow's race meeting. As you know, again, we record on a Tuesday morning. So definitely a soft track, and it should make for some real interesting and competitive racing.
As always, Graham, thanks for your valuable time.
Thank you, Dees. Wishing you a wonderful day ahead.
Thanks to Graham Hawkins, and on behalf of the Gallop TV team and myself, Dees Dine, and to you, the valued racing fan, if you are playing at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on this Wednesday, Graham Hawkins has mentioned there is some inclement weather about, so just have a look at the declarations, card changes, and of course, what the track is doing on the day when it comes to the penetrometer reading. You take care. Salani Gashle.